Welcome to the ICP with We Show.
I'm Eric.
I'm Aaron.
And I'm Robbie.
And we've got a great show for you today. In this episode, we'll talk about boofing, juggalo hardcore, and as always, our sponsor, analbuttsex.com. So don't just listen to this episode while you also watch a movie or work or do something around the house. Sit down and let it enter your ears.
It's ICP with who? With we, with you and me, and with Robbie. It's news and reviews with these three dudes. It's the ICP with We Show. We Show. We Show. We Show. We Show. We Show.
Yeah, let us enter your ears.
Let me enter you.
Let me enter your ears.
Yeah.
Does that sound bad?
Well, when you say ears, like with that voice, like ear, but the rest of it is a normal voice, and then you say ears, it sounds like it's like you're implying it's something else besides ears.
Like if I say, "Let me enter your ears,"
Or like
that sounds bad.
Like, hey, how's your day going? Let me enter your ears. You know, it's like
Ooh,
with a wink.
yeah,
I just felt like violated.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's that kind of show now. It's a violating show now. That's what we do.
Can I be honest with y'all?
No, please.
Listening to any podcast while watching a movie is psychopath
Insane.
behavior. That's honestly insane.
Oh, okay. Listeners, let us know how many of you listen to podcasts while you watch movies or listen to music or play video games or do other shits.
Video
Now-
games, fine.
Video games, I think, is fine.
Arguably more engaging and takes up more of your attention than a movie.
But the audio doesn't matter as much as a movie a lot of times. It depends on the game.
That depends
If
on the game.
it's,
Depends on the game.
You know, what's that? If it's Dream Phone, yeah, you're gonna need to hear. If it's like Super Mario Brothers, you probably could just, unless you don't need to hear the soundtrack.
Okay, well, fine.
That's my thoughts. As a non-gamer, I'm giving my thoughts. But I'm involved with a lot of Resident Evil right now. You got to hear.
Oh, yeah. Resident. Are you playing Requiem?
I am riding shotgun.
Hell yeah. That's the kind of game where you can ride shotgun. You can watch and be there along for the story. That's good.
Very
Listen to a
engaging.
podcast.
Yeah, I've been listening to podcasts and watching movies.
Okay. Well, hey, you guys, have you heard any music news lately?
Heard a couple things. Heard some rumors.
Yep, same. I've heard a few things.
I think Robbie heard something about the Grammys. I'm not
I
sure.
didn't actually. No, I think next year they're going to happen is what I heard. That's it.
I've heard some. I've researched some music news for this week, and boy, is it a bunch of shit.
Oh,
So-
okay. Tell us some of your shit.
Oh, well, let's kick things off. Sublime, you hear these guys?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
we might have talked about them before.
I think they've been
Guaranteed.
part of music news multiple times. And here they are for the third time. Sublime goes grocery shopping, accidentally grabs Sublemons instead.
Ooh.
Oh.
Whatever recipe they were planning for, that's going to ruin it.
Yeah, if it was like guac or something, no good.
It may still be okay.
Yeah, I'd try it, but
Yeah.
it's
Yeah,
not
I
going to
wouldn't-
be as expected.
I wouldn't kick a lemon guac out of bed in the morning. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
hey. Agreed. Well, hey, Christy actually told me this music news headline, and I was like, no kidding. Huh.
That's interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I did a little extra research and found out all about it. Rock and hip hop pioneer Debbie Harry recently
Sure.
dyed her hair black. As a result, the band Blondie initially announced a name change, which was immediately challenged by the NAACP.
Hey, that's fair.
Yep, I could see where that could present some issues.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was poking around the internet this week, and I saw that the band, the Title Fight, are you guys familiar with these guys?
Yes.
Absolutely.
They apparently are neck deep, different band, but not this headline. Knee deep in a lawsuit, class action lawsuit.
Knee deep?
Three, yeah, they are every other band deep in a lawsuit, class action lawsuit. Fans, I guess, all showed up to what they assumed was their reunion show, and it was a boxing match. So furiously, they have taken the band to court, and I will update you on that situation as it brings it to.
Fans were really curious to see who would be the state champs.
Well, in Title V fans, famously litigious people.
So
that makes sense.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Oh, here's one. This is interesting. This is sad, if I'm being honest. But popular band The Killers sentenced to 25 years for manslaughter.
Ooh. Well, not murder though.
Yeah, it's an accident.
It was accident. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Still Killers.
They're gonna need to change the name of the band.
Yeah.
This one was interesting to me. An unlikely pairing here. Janet Jackson and Jacoby Shaddix. They are joining forces to campaign for the full and censored release of the Epstein files.
Wow.
Said this unlikely duo, it's important that all of the many individuals involved with the Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell activities are exposed so that we can know with certainty which of these nasty individuals should be referring to us as Miss Jackson and Mr. Dick.
That is fair. Yeah. I was wondering if there was going to be some ramifications there.
Yeah.
Let's see. I got one here. It says President Donald Trump has issued an apology, very rare apology to Bad Bunny.
Robbie always has Donald Trump ones. He must be getting his music from Fox Music News.
Yeah, I got a Fox Pitchfork.
Yeah.
No, so Donald Trump has issued an apology to Bad Bunny over his Super Bowl comments. Apparently, he got him mixed up with Bugs Bunny, who he quoted as being a wascally wabbit he does not care for. Says Bad Bunny's a good guy, good songs.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, did Donald Trump have any thoughts about the Grammys? Did you see anything about that?
I actually haven't seen anything about that, which is crazy. That guy talks about everything. I didn't hear a peep about that one.
He didn't post about the Grammys at all.
Oh,
no,
that's
fair. My knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Here's one. Van Halen trades in name for something more economical. Sedan Halen.
Oh, well, that's nice.
Okay.
Kids are probably out of out of the house, and
they don't need to waste all that gas and seat for 13 or whatever.
Too much vehicle.
Yeah,
that's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, this one I think is going to be of specific interest to both of you. Restaurant chain Golden Corral. Have you ever been there?
I've seen it. I don't know if I've been or not.
I love it.
A buffet,
Yeah.
They have acquired the rights to the Old Country Buffet brand, which was previously the largest buffet chain in the U.S., and they plan to resurrect it. They're banking currently on name recognition for this large chain, but also a new partnership with the estate of Jimmy Buffett. Notable changes will include a margarita station next to the ice cream machines, a new name, Jimmy Buffett's Old Country Buffet, and free Jimmy Buffett Jurassic World action figures for the kids.
Free? Wow. I've got an eBay alert on those things. So it is nice to hear that you can get them at a nice price.
Prices will be coming down fast.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah.
I would eat there every day.
Yeah,
that sounds so awesome.
Same. I don't know if this is just like a grand opening type thing or if that's going to be like a go forward. But
yeah, that's fair. I've got a kind of a multi-part music question that I just wanted to, So let's see. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Oh, who's there?
R. Kelly.
R. Kelly who?
Are Kelly Osbourne and the guy from The Used still together? I just wasn't sure.
No.
Oh, okay. Well, knock knock.
Who's there?
Diddy.
Diddy who?
Did he cheat, or did they just kind of they just lost interest in the relationship or anything like that?
Yeah, I think Bert actually moved on, started dating another woman, had a child with her, and then she died while they were recording the album In Love and Death.
Okay. Yeah. Well, that's all my questions answered. So yeah. Good.
Truly wonderful. I have one more here.
Okay.
This one, man, I honestly, I side with the artist on this one because this is a frustrating thing going on these days. So after frustration with not being accepted at most places these days, Johnny Cash changed his name to Johnny Debit or Credit.
Oh, that's fair. You got to get with the times, you know.
Got
He should have changed it to Johnny Crypto.
Johnny Apple
Crypto is
Pay.
a cool name.
Johnny Crypto.
Johnny Apple Pay is better.
Johnny Tap here, please.
Yeah. Johnny Apple Pay is going around from town to town and just installing Apple Pay into.
Well, and I
Johnny
heard
Apple
he's
Pay, that's what
he's
wears
a
tin
distant
pot hat.
relative. Yeah, distant relative to Johnny Appleseed.
Right.
Yeah.
So Johnny Apple Pay actually kind of sounds like that guy that's putting skimmers on the things at Walmart.
Oh, yeah.
You know what we should have done at the top of this episode?
What's that?
Let everybody know what would be coming up in this episode instead of jumping right into music news.
Oh, we could do that now and pop it in the front.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, who gives a shit? We're doing an episode, people. Listen to what's going to come up.
Well, here, I'll just do this. Still ahead in this episode, our review of Klokwerk E's Rent-A-Friend, and we'll talk about DeadBodyMan H.C.
We'll get there with them, but I got some questions.
Yeah.
Ooh.
About the HC only, but yeah.
Well, they've only recently started using the HC.
Okay, that was my question. Is that part of their name for real, or is it just to keep them from not being confused with other DeadBodyMans?
I think it's that. I think it's two things. I think on their socials they use the HC, which I think a lot of bands do because somebody's already taken your name, so you put HC at the end to designate, or you put, TX or PA or whatever. Yeah, something like that. But I'm seeing it on flyers and stuff now. So I think it may be there's another DeadBodyMan artist somewhere, and they're now differentiating instead of putting like an AD or whatever.
Makes sense. And then, because sometimes if someone was looking for one DeadBodyMan and they walked into a show and it was the wrong one, they'd be like, "Whose DeadBodyMans is this?"
Yeah.
Well, and
not my
definitely it clears up the confusion on my end, because I can't even tell you how many times I've walked into like a cemetery and just be like, "Okay, which one of you is the fucking hardcore band?"
And they're like,
right.
There's a lot of silence,
and it's just deafening silence. Yeah.
It's just a lot of dead people.
Yeah, mostly.
Well, what do you guys say? Should we get into the meat of this episode? Should we talk about a group that I think we've not talked about very much on the show so far, but is definitely an important artist within the scene right now? Should we talk about Klokwerk E?
Hey, let's
talk about him. Yeah.
Okay.
Hey yo, homie, I'm sick again. I don't go this long without heroin. So if you loan me 100, I'll share the shit. And we can both dine out where my parents live. That's cool.
See you low on bread. We can just steal stuff from the store instead. And I do know a guy we can trade it in, and he'll give half price off anything we get. I go park that kid off his selfie bike, and when his brother shows up,
So in this episode, we're reviewing their most recent release, which is Rent-A-Friend, even though it technically came out a few months ago. It came out October 28th, 2025. But we're overdue to talk about them. And with the new format, what better time than now to jump in and talk about it, right?
Yeah, and I brought this up for us to do specifically because I was jogging my brain and I was like, okay, I know Aaron has listened to some super famous Fun Time guys. We just did Ala Zuli Lou last time, and I was
we
like,
still need to get him a super famous something.
we need to do a review, but I know he listened to it on his own time.
Sure.
So I was like, okay,
Or in the car with me.
Yeah. Well, no, I think
Both.
he had announced on one of the episodes that he had done some home
Yeah, I
listening.
think you're right.
I did do some brief home listening.
Okay.
Yeah, but Klokwerk E, I was like, this is the next one that I think I want to feed his direction. So
Yeah.
This seemed like a good release to do that. Short and sweet, themed. Let's go.
Well, I put together a very quick bio based on my knowledge and understanding of them, plus the most surface level research I could do into their music.
Sure.
Robbie, feel free to add to this after I provide it.
Okay.
Klokwerk E formed in 2021 and quickly started releasing singles. They dropped their first album, The Emerald Tablets, in 2024. Since then, they've released 4 more albums and EPs, this being the most recent, Rent a Friend. If you didn't already know this, Klokwerk E is an Ohio-based rap duo comprised of Billy D and Kyle Combs. They are both silver-painted, lab coat-wearing scientists, also aliens, also Egyptians, also potentially some sort of gods, also possibly robots, and 100% juggalo trash.
That sounds fair. Yeah. I'm
okay.
trying to think, how can I fill that out there? They have a group with super famous Funtime guys called Mighty Morphin Whackness that has done a couple tours and a couple EPs. Yeah, they're kind of. I think they're a cool example of a new group that are fully doing their own thing. They're associated with a lot of people. Like,
what's their association with Apollo Exodus?
They call him Apollo Sexy Lips, and they're friends.
Yes.
And he does some stuff. I think some skit kind of stuff on their records.
Do they perform together in things, I assume?
No, Apollo Exodus is actually part of Legion Realm. So he was just at their recent Juggalo Day show doing as part of the Legion Realm collective set.
I see.
But he's just friends. They're all kind of, Ohio dudes that are friendly.
Listen, everybody's Ohio.
Yeah. These days.
In your opinion, does he have sexy lips?
I haven't actually looked that close at him. They do call him that, and I have never. Hold on, let me just do some. Let's see here. Apollo Exodus. Now his pictures have interesting lighting. You know what? Those aren't bad lips. I'd say sure. I'm gonna give him the thumbs up.
You heard it here second, folks.
So yeah, okay. So the Klokwerk E, that's Klokwerk E in a nutshell.
Yeah. They've got a few records, they've been around for a few years. They've got some records, they've got some lore, they've got some popular songs. They're one of my favorite up and coming groups that I think are cool guys.
Now, I will start this by saying we all listen to Rent a Friend. We're about to have our conversation about it.
Mm-hmm.
You and I have discussed this at length off pod. I don't dislike Klokwerk E, but they've never been a group that clicked for me. Like, it took a while for like super famous Funtime guys. And then there was a moment where I'm like, yep, I get it. And then I went back and loved everything they were doing. This was one that, although I've listened and I've wanted to get in and understand and go click for me, didn't until I listened to this EP.
Oh, okay.
And I think it's good that we're talking about this one, because even though it's an EP and they released, a couple of sort of big flagship albums in the past year or two, I think this album, and I probably shouldn't just come right off the top and say this because it could influence what the two of you say. Hopefully, if you disagree, you'll just say so. I think this is a huge level up for them personally, in production, in vocal production, in vocal delivery, in writing. There's something about this that feels a little more cohesive and complete. And I would never use the word mature when it comes to these guys, but there's some growth here from what they did before. Like, when I listen to an album like Anubis, I think we start with 2 or 3, sort of dark, scary tracks that feel like there's deep lore, and then they're all over the place, which is kind of their thing, and a little silly and a little sophomoric, right? Same thing with Emerald Tablets to me. They're kind of, not to say they're bad, but there is something about Rent a Friend where I'm like, this is kind of a no skipper. Everything sounds better here than it has on their previous releases. Like, I thought Will Booth for Rent was a decent EP. And I think these guys function really well in an EP space. I think 8 tracks of really solid, bizarrely themed, like this whole Rent a Friend thing. And Robbie, I'll let you explain it because I think you have a very specific personal perspective on it. Is them working in a space where they absolutely belong. I don't need them to jump into the Egyptian stuff and things like, oh, that's interesting, but it never felt like them to me. I'm like, you guys are doing too many things. right here on this album is everything I want them to be. And it works so well for me. I don't know why. It just, like, you get their personality, you get some of the silly, shocking stuff, you get some of the heartfelt stuff, which all I ever heard was the silly stuff. And then you exposed me to some of the more heartfelt songs. And I was like, okay, these guys have something. But I think this is a really interesting blend of distilling them down, but also sort of putting a nice varnish on it so it's very presentable. Like, this is one of the most clean and mainstream accessible, even though it would never fly in the mainstream space, things that I've
Yeah.
heard them do.
You don't think "Poop in My Mouth" repeated a bunch at the end of the track would go on radio or anything like that?
No, I don't know if mainstream audience would think that, let's go to an old folks home and fart in an old lady's face. I don't know if they would like that, but
yeah, it's hard to say.
I
Eminem
don't
was
know if
big.
the old lady would like that.
Maybe depends. But
Yeah,
yeah, I don't know. I kind of just took control of that, but I just wanted to say, like, to me, this feels like a significant step for these guys, that they've always felt like sort of like the heirs to the throne. Like, they're right there, ready to step up to the tier where some of the other big artists in the scene are. And I'm like, oh yeah, they belong here. They just did it. To me, that's what I think.
First button I want to put on that is a shout out to Kyle Combs, because this is their first project. He's always done a lot of the production, but this is the first one he does all of it front to back.
Oh, well, it's really good. Better than, I think, some of the other stuff that felt less consistent.
Yeah. So for you to say that, that's a big, that's all his doing. So that's really cool. I agree and disagree, but a soft disagree, I would say, in that that's one of the reasons I wanted to talk about this one specifically, because I do think it is, I think there's the least, how do I even put this? There's the least to quibble with, if that makes sense. Like, Anubis, I think I might like more than this one, but there are some things on Anubis that I know can be divisive. And so I thought this would be a better first exposure because it is super consistent. It's not all in one box, it's kind of about different themes about friendship, more or less.
Sure.
But it's different angles on it, which I think is a really cool way to do a conceptual thing without doing like a storytelling or everything's about one thing. It's like a song like Bad Influence, is about a type of friend that kind of, should we lay out how this, well, okay, let me go.
I'll let you lay it out. I will say
Yeah.
this though, as I was
Mhm.
listening to it again on my way home today, I wondered, as I was, and I'm like legitimately fucking with it as I'm listening. And I went, why do I like this so much compared to the other stuff? I wonder if their fans don't like it. If they're like, oh, you sanded all the edges off and fuck this, it's not good. I'll be curious to see what you say when we get to that point.
Yeah, no, I mean, for on that tip, their kind of biggest hit to date is Juggalo
yes.
Penis.
Yes.
Because it's a silly song, and the video got really popular through like Reddit virality in a weird way. But outside of that, Bad Influence is number 2 most listened to on Spotify. 3 of the songs on this are on that top list, along with some of the classics and stuff. So this is very well received by the fans.
Okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
Fucking good.
Yeah. But to take it back to what you were saying about the Rent a Friend thing. So Rent a Friend, and it kind of plays into the imagery here and the samples. Rent a Friend was I believe 2000 VHS tape that was a guy just talking to camera, wearing a kind of a beige sweater. And it was basically, the premise was, this tape is your new friend as this guy. And so it opens with the stuff that opens this record where, hey, I'm this, welcome in. How are you? What's your name? And a lot of the samples that you hear being that one guy, not the guy who's got thoughts on George Bush, which we can get to, but the other guy who's heavily sampled throughout this is directly taken from that tape, which is, it was a fun surprise for me because I knew about that just because my local video store, which I live in Portland, we still have a popular local video store called Movie Madness, and they put the Rent a Friend, a DVD version of it, in the like must see employee picks kind of thing. So I rented it
That's
on a
fun.
whim. Yeah, it was. I rented it on a whim and watched it and was just like, this is fucking weird, bizarro shit. Which is the goal, I think, on some level, maybe. I'm not totally sure if the guy's in on the joke as much as he's weird, but I think it's somewhere in between. But I love that they went with like, so they took the look of the tape, you know, the look of the guy on the cover. They have their classic silver face paint, but they've got the sweaters and they sampled it heavily. So I was immediately, when this was announced, I was like, I know what you're doing and it's really fucking cool. So I was excited about that right out of the gate. And then hearing it, I was just excited that they kind of started there and went a lot of other places. And by the time it wraps up, you know, which we can get, we're not doing track by track, so I guess we don't need to like bury the lead or anything like that.
Yeah.
But by the time it wraps up, it's like a very sweet album, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
Which is,
Yeah.
Those are my favorite tracks, are those last two, you know, kind of heartfelt, tender tracks.
I mean, there's some wild lyrical stuff, but there are no songs called Poop in My Puss or Coochies
No.
or things like that on here.
Yeah.
Which I'm okay with that. You know, that's cool. But one of the things that I like most is that there's a lot of samples on here, but they're all legitimate samples. And on previous albums, I think they use a lot of AI generated voices and even music, like when they do the, it's like the interstellar intergalactic radio.
Yeah.
It's like it. What was that? That was a Rick and Morty thing where they do intergalactic cable or whatever. And on Anubis, there was one that was like totally AI generated song.
Juggalo Lady is the song, which honestly, I mean, yeah, I'm not an AI guy. I'm not, but that does get stuck in my head, and it's a straight up banger. So I don't know, have someone record it, but yeah, it's.
But there's something that felt more grounded and real about this to me. It felt more completely thought through, like there was an idea. And even though they take detours along the way, this whole thing is a complete concept. And they might hate that. This might be a group that thrives in chaos, and they kind of feel like that to me. And this is one of the less chaotic projects that they've done to me.
Yeah, I would agree. Aaron, I'm so curious.
We got to get to Aaron.
Yeah. So as somebody who had zero frame of reference on what they put out previously to this, I went in and I listened to this. I said, damn, these guys are fucking tight. They have strong concept on this EP, at least. They get to the point. I love the fucking the samples. This is awesome. But it sounds like this is not indicative of the rest of their discography.
Well,
is that correct?
It is.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's not indicative. I would say it's just they're as this is their third, I would say, major project, even though it's an EP. But they're sharpening their blade, you know, with each project, I would say.
Yeah.
Okay. That's fair. So it's just getting more refined and more refined as they go on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. I mean, I really like this EP. It's 21 minutes long, very palatable. I think, Robbie, I agree with you. The last two more earnest songs, Ernest Scared Stupid, Ernest Goes to Camp songs.
Yeah.
Those songs are probably my two favorite, but have some fun. Hey, I did. That's a good track too. It's a good little tone setter, I think, to the EP. And even the stupidest song on this EP, Johnny Bravo, still fun.
See, that's a track that is very them to me.
Okay.
Well, and that one I think is, I like the layering on that. So like I was saying earlier that there's a lot of different like POVs on friendship on this. That one is like a creepy guy who's like trying to be a friend, quote unquote, but it's just like a creep. I love that it's called Johnny Bravo because it's so unself-aware. Like the characters they are playing in the song. Not, the song itself is very self-aware, but the characters that they each play in their verses is very unself-aware. and kind of creepy, which I think is a kind of how Johnny Bravo, the cartoon character, comes off, especially nowadays.
Absolutely.
That one I'd say is closer to some of the stuff they've done in the past, but with I think it's almost more mature than some other things, because how do I word this? It's not that it's more mature, it's just that
refined is a good word.
Refined, it relays what it's trying to do stronger. Like there's a song on Anubis called Take What's Mine, which is about like rape, and the intention is that that's a very dark, fucked up topic, and this is our like dark horror album. We're going to talk about this dark, fucked up thing. And that song was really controversial when it came out in the community, because there were people that just didn't like that they did that. And I get it. There are other people that got what they were doing, and I don't think the people that didn't like it didn't get what they were doing. I don't want to make them sound stupid, or like they don't get art or whatever, but it wasn't handled with a lot of care, I would say. And so it didn't hit for everyone. Whereas I feel like Johnny Bravo is taking a similar idea, but the self-awareness, they're more aware of how those things will be perceived. And so I think it's handled in a way that reads better, if that makes sense.
But they seem to me to be a group, though, that has never cared about, appeasing the masses, in the sense that like they're going to say whatever they're going to say, and they're not going to try to be too PC or anything like that. They're in it to be shocking and be silly. And like these two guys are just, they say horrible, fucked up things that the two of them think are funny, and they don't think too hard about putting it out to the world to listen to. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think the key to what you just said is that they think are funny. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think a lot of what they're doing is like, hey, we're really going to offend or shock people with this. But I think it comes straight up from them being close friends and doing things that they think are funny to each other.
I like that.
Well, and I'll tell you, this album was the one that made me understand that concept. And I went, okay, I kind of get what the other stuff, everything that they've done up to this point. And the other thing was, there is a rap group from Pittsburgh in the late 90s called Grand Buffet that was, pretty influential to me in a music and rap sense and stuff. And I hear a lot of what appealed to me about them in this album too, especially on a track like Johnny Bravo or something. There is a certain abstract absurdist humor, or a certain abstract absurdist aspect even to lyrics sometimes, that it's not even like that's hilarious. It's just like, wow, that's off the wall. And a variety of different influences musically, right? Like early on, it was pretty clear what the main influence that they were drawing from was. And here you're starting to hear not only all those influences that, you might hear bit by bit in the other albums existing, but being passed through the filter of, this is what Klokwerk E sounds like, and this is what Klokwerk E sounds like using the influences of these types of music that we like, versus, it feels out of place on an album or something like that. Again, nothing wrong with being eclectic, but I think this album finds a way to take those eclectic influences and styles and pass them through the Klokwerk E filter and make it all sound like one cohesive thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And I think something we talk about here and there is, and we even talked about it a little bit on our last episode with Darby, is the influence people take from ICP and sort of how that looks. There are people that, like Darby was saying, he likes to make references to that stuff because it's like some of his favorite stuff he grew up with or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I think the way I see Klokwerk E doing the ICP influence thing is in world building a little bit, where like these are different songs about different topics, but it's all so from their very fleshed out point of view. Like, I know, listening and having listened for a few years to all the different singles and albums and stuff, like I kind of know where these guys are from, if that makes sense, like where their vantage point is.
I'm starting to see it as well. Like you get to understand and know them a little bit, their personalities, the personalities of the humans behind the characters, I think,
as well as the personalities of the characters,
Sure.
which I think is like a big ICP thing that I think people don't get right a lot, which is like, if you listen to an older ICP song, let's say about strangling, and then you listen to another one about sex, or and the first one I meant murder strangling, not sex strangling.
Sure. There's a difference between choking and strangling. If you're strangling somebody during sex, you're doing it wrong.
Listen, I'm not here to judge.
But you're doing it right, depending on what you want.
Okay, hey, listen, are you writing lyrics for Klokwerk E now? What are we doing?
but what I'm saying is, in the more nice song, let's take the sex song off the table, or let's add to it something like "I'm Coming Home," for instance.
Sure.
There's gonna be those little winks at the scummy side of ICP in a sincere song, and there's gonna be little bits of comedy and levity in a dark song, because that's all part of those guys. And I see a lot of that in a Klokwerk E, where like there's some pretty scummy stuff tossed into a heartfelt song, just as much as there's some of their more horror songs are still pretty funny, because that's who they are. They are funny guys. That's their point of view. That's what they're good at. And I think having that strong sense of self across a record like this is just impressive, I guess. I wasn't really going anywhere specific besides to say that I think it's well done.
Well, I can take it somewhere specific, because I think this album, part of what works for it for me is what worked about ICP early on for me, is that yes, there are characters, and yes, there's a shtick or a gimmick or whatever, but there's a blend of the real people in the music and the characters. And you don't even have to pay that much attention to be able to tell what stuff feels genuine, or sometimes even the things the characters are saying are obviously informed by real life feelings or experiences from the people behind the characters, right? And I think that is more apparent on this album than on some of the other stuff I've listened to. And maybe that's why, or it struck a better balance. It felt a little more human to me, and that's why it worked. Felt organic, I guess.
Yeah. And I think balance is a really good word here, because in the past, everything they've done has been really specifically in a direction. Like Anubis is a horrorcore record that has some comedic songs on it, but it's a horrorcore record. And then they'll do EPs like I gotta get the title right on this, Bukkake Mukbang Extravaganza, which is front to back sex and poop jokes, crazy, over the top, but it is contained that thing throughout. And then there's Will Boof for Rent, which is more sincere, heartfelt stuff, but the whole time, you know what I mean? And I think this one is very strong at kind of doing a few of those things. It ends on the heartfelt stuff. There's, I think, like Bad Influence and Johnny Bravo are kind of the dark side. Have Some Fun and Rent a Friend kind of open it up in a in-between way that's kind of lighthearted. So I think within a really short amount of time, they do something that is cohesive, but also has a lot of ideas packed into it, which I think is cool.
Yeah. So
it's a
Aaron,
good way of putting it. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what are things that you did or maybe didn't particularly care for about this group and this album, having heard them for the first time?
There's not a lot that I didn't particularly care for. I guess the poop on my face chant or repeated line to end the entire fucking thing was not super great, but it gave me a good peek into who they are, I guess. And it sounds like I was correct in the assumption of who they are based on hearing the two of you talk about their past work. But I really loved, hey, shout out Kyle Combs. I love the production on this one. I don't have anything to compare it to, but I really like the production. I think that they had some interesting lines and points of view and in their lyrics, and it kept me engaged throughout the entire 21 minutes. Each song felt like it fit perfectly together with the last and with the next one, but it also felt unique at the same time. There wasn't a lot of boring repetitiveness, I guess you would say, in my mind. But I fully enjoyed this EP. It's definitely something I'm going to return to.
Would you listen to more Klokwerk E?
Yeah, I think I would. I think I would backtrack and listen to some of their previous releases.
I feel like of all the artists out there, this is the one that I have most heard people say, Aaron would love this group.
Yeah.
They seem like a group I would love. I'll be honest. They seem like a group that I would really fuck with. Because to y'all's point, they seem like two really close friends trying to make each other laugh, which is great. And it's one of my favorite things to do.
I agree.
I don't write music news for the listeners. I write them to get laughs out of the two of you specifically.
I have started only writing them for the two of you. I'm like,
yeah, exactly.
Got to get a Jimmy Buffett joke in here somehow.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, it's a great dynamic to have in a group, and I think that it can breed some really funny and creative songs.
I feel like I really dominated the conversation here, and I'm sorry. I was like, came into it and I'm like, I have big thoughts, and they just started coming out. So apologies for that, but
no, you're good.
Robbie, you have had so much experience with this group compared to the two of us, because I have heard them throughout their career. I hear the songs as they release, or, at one point I said, Robbie, help me understand this group, make me a playlist, which I listened to and we talked about and stuff. And I would love to know more of your perspective, not just about this album, but about them.
Sure. I'm trying to think. So I got onto these guys pretty early when they were still just dropping singles. They dropped a lot of singles early on. So it was very much like let's see what this one's all about, from track to track.
Yeah.
The ones that stood out right away, like Crackheads is one of my favorites of theirs. Jim Jones, Tearjerker. I really was brought into their fold through SON. They started doing a lot of work together, especially kind of around Camp Zool 2. And they went there with him, and they still do a lot of stuff together. But at that time, he announced Umbra, his upcoming, character that became, the Bastard Son album. And they were the ones holding the signs on either side, and they debuted, I believe they debuted it at that event, but their song Dami Ya Mama, which was their first collab. So that was kind of where I first really got into them, was through, with the stuff they were doing with SON. And then just dived in. And I think at first I was a little, I don't like a sex song that much.
Well, they do a lot of that.
Yeah. And so that originally was a little bit of a struggle until I think I started to understand the sense of humor and kind of the point of view. And then I like all those songs. They don't have a song that, I'm not, Give Me a Show. It's, there's so many of these songs I really want Aaron to hear, honestly. And I'm kind of bummed we didn't give him a precursor playlist before this.
Well, give me one. I'll go back and listen.
Oh, for sure I will after this. But just so you are aware what I'm talking about, the song Give Me a Show, the chorus is a very beautifully sung, earnest sounding croon.
Which movie?
I thought you were going to say, hey, Vern, it's me, Ernest.
No, Ernest in the not the man sense, but it's a very catchy, get stuck in your head crooning of I want to know what your butthole looks like. Give me a show, blah blah blah. And live it is a hilariously fun thing to sing along with. And that's the kind of, I think what they do on that level is very silly. And I think that's what warmed me up to it, was that we talked a lot in our Twisted Seasons about their sex songs being unenjoyable fully because they're a little bit too cool guy. You know what I mean? They're like, hey, I'm gonna fuck you. And it's like, man, I don't fucking care about that. I don't even hear that fucking song. Whereas these guys are saying similar things, maybe, but it's so over the top and stupid and vulgar that it goes from being like a sex song in that sense to a hilarious comedy song. You know what I mean? Kind of in the way that the old ICP, I stuck her with my wang or whatever kind of shit was. So I'm just talking about them at this point. And so, yeah, I was really waiting for an album for a long time. Emerald Tablets came out and I enjoyed it, but was a little bit disappointed with that being the Klokwerk E album. You know, I thought like it was very good, but it was skit heavy and short. It was like 30 minutes and a little all over the place. So I was like, well, you know, maybe these guys are singles guys, but some of these tracks are super bangers. And then the thing before that, even, I guess, that really when I figured it out was Will Boof for Rent, the EP. And the version that's on streaming is a little bit reworked from what was originally on Bandcamp. But that was the first time that there's like a bunch of songs about like their lives and their feelings. And I was like, oh, these are dudes with like maybe troubled pasts or like dark biographies, but like that like to, they're juggalos. You know what I mean? They want to joke around about butts with their pals, almost as an escape from some of the darknesses of life. And it really, that kind of cemented like, I know these guys, you know, like I know guys like these guys. I have been this guy, you know what I mean? Like this all makes sense to me now. And I've been a super, super huge fan since that EP came out. These guys talk about boofing a lot. That was originally like one of their things. They do less of it now, I would say. But back then that was one of their like claims to fame originally that had people remembering who they were, I would say.
Less boofing, more pooping.
Hey, here's a really fun fact. My first exposure to this group came in February of 2022.
Okay.
Through, of all people, Dale, D Lyrical of Intelligence and Violence fame. Because we asked him in the interview, tell us about some up and coming artists that people should be checking out. And he said, there's this group in Ohio that you guys got to know about. They're called Klokwerk E.
Interesting. Yeah. I mean, he's friends I've met him in person through them, through being around them. So yeah, he's the real deal when it comes to guys that support Klokwerk E.
But he was saying that within 6-8 months of them even forming as a duo and starting to drop singles.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, he was up on it. I don't even know how, because like he's out there. He goes to shows. Like I've seen him at Sam Hain's Ceremony. He was there hanging out and like, so like he's around, but I did not know that until then. I don't know how he even would have heard of a Klokwerk E, unless it was because I think
he said he had seen them.
Okay, yeah, so maybe he was just at a local show and saw them or something.
Yeah,
I know they were on the Juggalo Gong show on Patreon that ICP did. Like they performed on that and got pretty good compliments from Shaggy. Although Jay gonged them for not dancing enough, which it was controversial, but it is what it is. They were doing a song called "You Don't Dance," which is a really catchy, fun song, but they were just being rappers and not dancing enough. And Jay took issue with that, I guess, and gonged them. But they've since done, plenty of gatherings and stuff. But it was a weird thing.
Interesting.
I would love to get one of these guys on the show because I have a lot of questions for them.
Okay, yeah. I have a question for them specifically about the album artwork for this EP. Sure. They're holding martini glasses. Whatever they have in those glasses, it's definitely not a martini. Too dark.
It's probably rock and rye.
Dirty.
I'm thinking so. Okay, but even so, super dirty. It'd be more green than it is. This looks to me like apple juice with olives in it.
Might be.
And I need to know because it's too flat to be like a beer or anything like that.
What if it's a Manhattan?
What is in the martini glass?
They're going to have to come on the show. That's kind of the only way to find out, I guess.
But yeah, that's the
we need
question
to get them on the show. We need to get them on the show, and I'm going to ask them the one question, and then we can let them go.
I've got a lot of lore questions, but if we just need to distill it down to only one question, I think that's it.
Yeah, what's in those glasses?
All right. So we all liked this, huh?
Yeah. Yeah. Big fan of this one.
Yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. Which, again, I've never been like, ugh, I can't stand these guys. But they've not clicked. Like, I hear them and I'm like, yeah, I understand that they're good. I get that people like them, but there hasn't been the thing that like hooked me. And then this was the thing that I was like, fuck, well, they got me.
Now, let me ask you, have you gone back to the other stuff since this clicked?
You know, I went back specifically to listen to Will Booth for Rent.
Okay.
Because I want to listen to another EP of theirs and just feel like, are they an EP group to me? And that's a tough comparison because it is all a little more heartfelt. But I do think that there are parallels between this and that. And it's funny to, jump from where they were almost 2 years ago to now.
More than that.
Yeah.
So the thing about Will Booth for Rent is that I'm trying to look it up right now.
It just hit streaming in 2024.
Yeah, so it was a Bandcamp exclusive. I think it was literally like, we need some money kind of thing. It was a Bandcamp exclusive February 6th of 2023. So
okay,
just over 3 years ago.
I guess I need to go back now and re-listen to things again and see how I feel.
I'm wondering, we need to do some kind of an episode because there's been multiple. Now we did it with Zool as well, where we kind of left the conversation off on between
like
you
a follow-up
and Aaron both. Yeah, being like, okay, well, I got to check this one out now. And so I feel like one of these episodes, we're going to just have to do a follow-up episode on a few of these groups where, like, now that this clicked, listen to a couple other things and do like an overall chat about it.
Probably a good idea.
Not bad. Yeah.
Aaron, really quick question, because last time with Zool, you would kind of ask for some what to go to next. What were the like standout elements of this, would you say?
Of Klokwerk E?
Yeah, and this record specifically.
The lyricism. I mean, the lyrics, their flow patterns, all that.
Oh, so just okay. That's all over the place then. I would go to Anubis and Will Booth for Rent and see what you think of those. And I also really want to hear your thoughts on the Bukkake Mukbang extravaganza, just because the samples and drops in that are so insane that it, like, for a guy that doesn't love blue humor, it makes me cackle with some of these drops.
Ooh.
I don't know if I've listened to that one yet. I don't think I have. So I probably
It's the filthiest filth they got, I'll tell you that. But there are some really, really funny, like mixtape DJ drops throughout, just all about cum.
Okay.
Oh, good. Okay, so I'm gonna love it.
Yeah. Right up your alley.
Perfect.
All right. Well, we got another group to talk about here.
Yeah.
And this one, I think, is tailor-made for this show.
Yeah, it really is.
Yeah.
Listen, this group has been around for a couple years. I was exposed to them, I think, by Darby through Robbie. I think Darby told you about them. You told me about them. And I listened. And when I first heard it, I'm like, is this real? Is this like a serious thing? And then I started listening and I'm like, oh no, this is legit.
Yeah.
This is DeadBodyMan H.C. recently H.C. This is a juggalo hardcore band.
Fully both.
Yeah, that is not halfway one or the other. It is a legit full hardcore band that is fully juggalo themed. And they are dead serious about it. And they are playing out a good bit. They're from Columbus, Ohio. They played at just recently, actually, they played at Klokwerk E's Juggalo Day event.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be playing day one of Juggalo Ohio on March 27th, which I will be there. So I'm going to finally get to see them because I've been very curious about this.
You will also finally get to see Klokwerk E, who are on that day, I believe. And I think seeing them live is a really big part of enjoying them for me. So I think you'll enjoy that.
Day one has a great lineup. I'm excited to be there. I'm glad I can be there for one of the days. Excited to see everybody I can. But DeadBodyMan, it's their lyrics focus pretty heavily on traditional hardcore themes through a juggalo lens. There's a little bit of tongue in cheek. They know what they're doing, but they're also taking it pretty seriously. There's a lot of stuff about scene unity and inner strength and respect, and a ton of anti-racist messaging. There's a lot of Sanwasan stuff, which is a term coined by Ouija, which is stomp a Nazi when I see a Nazi. They started releasing music in 2024. They've dropped 6 singles. I put them all in a playlist for us to listen to. Somebody posted their set from Juggalo Day 2026, which, again, I think it just happened last month. So I shared them with both of you. I've given this a listen. Have you both had a chance to check it out?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, definitely. I listened to it a handful of times, the playlist.
All right. I'm going to take a step back and hold my thoughts because I'm mostly curious what the two of you think. Specifically, Aaron, I'd love to get your thoughts here.
Aaron, start us off.
Yeah, they're fucking hard. I mean, immediately when I turned on this playlist, so I saw your quick note about, this is a band tailor-made for this podcast. This is a Juggalo hardcore band. I'm like, okay, so it's just a heavy Juggalo rap group is kind of what I was thinking at first. And then I turned it on. I was like, oh God, no, he was not wrong. This is a true Juggalo hardcore band.
Yes.
And I fucking enjoyed the hell out of them. I mean, there's a lot, and there's no mistaking that they're a hardcore band.
Yeah.
And it's quickly realized that there is no mistaking that they're also juggalos. That is rampant throughout every track on this playlist here.
Yep.
Which is cool. I mean, I think at some time, at some points in the playlist, it kind of got a little overplayed for me of the Juggalo theming.
Yeah.
But not really in a bad way, just in like okay, we get it. But I also think that they're probably doing that just to really establish who they are and not beat around the bush about it.
5 out of 6 tracks have the word Juggalo in the title.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And all of the artwork for each single, very, very heavy Juggalo focused and themed. But no, I really like them. I think that they sound hard as fuck. The themes that they run with throughout every track, very, very sick. You're right. Very scene unity, anti-racist messaging. I mean, true hardcore shit and true juggalo shit as well. Yeah, it's they were sick. I mean, I listened to them. I'm like, fuck, are they coming to Dallas anytime soon? I could see them playing with the majority of the local music scene here in Dallas easily and fitting in great.
I think they'd play fine at a hardcore show or put them on a hardcore festival and people would be like, oh shit, yeah, okay.
I would argue they would play better, they would play to the crowd better at a true hardcore show.
I think so.
Than at like any sort of Juggalo rap show.
Well, we watched the video. The crowd didn't really know what to do with them.
Yeah.
Yeah. Juggalos, I mean, and this is not the fault of anyone because it's different subcultures. Juggalos don't understand hardcore dancing.
No.
Or rhythms. Like I remember years ago now seeing the Hooligans perform and they went into like a classic 2-step part and everyone that had been moshing, like push moshing, looked at them and just watched for that part because they weren't quite sure what to do physically to that. So
God, that would piss me off if I was there.
I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
I remember going up to Veronica and being like, oh, these guys don't know anything about hardcore is what's going on here, which they don't need to, but
right.
It is interesting to watch this band perform live and everyone kind of push moshing or not quite, knowing what to do with it. Cause it is hard, like they are doing, it's not like there's hardcore elements. They're a hardcore band.
Yeah. 100%.
And that's what surprised me
But they have a song called Juggalo Two Step. You know, they want, and if you watch that video, at that point, the camera turns to the crowd and there are two people out there two stepping and everybody else kind of going, I don't really know 100%. But that's how it starts. You know, the crowd will see that and they'll go, oh, this is what you do there. They start to figure it out. And this band to me proves something that I have always fucking known, that there are commonalities and ties between the juggalo scene and the underground hip hop scene and the hardcore scene. That's how I found out about them. All my friends that were going to shows, those were the kids listening to ICP, and a lot of the things that they were saying had a certain social consciousness that appealed to the same sensibilities that made us like bands like Earth Crisis or whatever. You know what I mean?
Totally.
And that exists here.
Yeah, I think that's what I like the most about this group is how heavily they lean into the anti-racist side of it.
It's the right thing. Listen, as a hardcore band, if you're going to take a stance on something, that's the common tie between like this band's hardcore roots and the juggalo roots. Like that is the very obvious bridge between them. It makes sense.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And I think like we're at an interesting time. I mean, in the world, we're at a very interesting time.
Sure. Sure.
But for this scene specifically, I think we are in an interesting time where like, because of the state of the world, there are people who want to fully ignore that side of things and go straight entertainment, which I'm not going to knock.
Also, okay.
There are people that will talk about more like internal work than the world at large. Like I would put like SON in that category, or even Fun Time
also
when they
good.
do their like kind of mental healthy stuff. And I think that is important too.
Yep.
But I do think there is a need right now for this kind of thing. Not necessarily even the hardcore part of it, but like juggalo music that is focusing on anti-racist and anti-bigotry messaging. And I think I was really excited to hear that that was kind of the main tenet that they were pulling from that world.
Yeah. They pull other things, but they are similar social conscious messaging, you know?
Yeah.
And I think that's good. My hope for these guys is that they take both sides of this serious, that they don't let it become something jokey, right? Because it could. A lot of hardcore bands thrive by becoming silly, right? You know, oh, hey, you know, it's a character band, whatever. These guys, I want nothing but legitimacy for them. They bring a sound that is somewhere between like an early Hatebreed and like that Cleveland kind of sound. It works really well. They've got some of that New York, that Midwest, like I would say 90s, early 2000s hardcore sound. It works so well in this modern era. When you bring these themes in, it all feels good. They get up there and they paint their faces, and you know, it's like a hardcore band with juggalo paint. And that makes perfect sense musically. When you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, I get this. But I really want this to work for them.
I want it to develop really bad. I think they're at a dangerous impasse, I think.
Yes.
Because they could very easily, with a couple more singles with similar theming, become a super one note, we are a hardcore band that talks about being juggalos kind of thing.
Could.
Whereas I want a little bit more, I can't even think of the right thing to say or like what I mean necessarily, but I want a little bit more diversity of theming, if that makes sense, which is hard to say because I'm also like, I love what they're doing with the theming, but
it's a good start is what it is. Exactly.
And I want them to build on it and like, you know, talk about anti-racist stuff or whatever, maybe just with different angles of it, if that makes sense, or like, you know, hitting things from different sides. Whereas like this is a really, I would consider like this 6 tracks they have as a really good demo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I need to hear now what the 7-inch is, what the LP is, you know, like I get what they're doing and I want to see how it develops, and I want it to develop organically into its own thing.
Totally agreed. This these 6 tracks are a good baseline of who is DeadBodyMan.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I want to see the next level.
Totally.
Yeah. And, I think don't ever lose these anti-racist themes. That's important to the core of your group and who you are as people. But there's more for you to say, right? There's more for you to do. We'll learn more about you and we'll take more away as you continue to elaborate. I think this group has the opportunity to walk between worlds in a way that I don't think any group has. They can realistically, I don't want them to lose any of the Juggalo theming. I think, listen, if that's a part of the core of your being and that's important to who you are, keep it. Yeah. I don't think every song has to have the word Juggalo in it.
Keep it, but do it in a genuine way, if that makes sense. So it does not become cartoonish.
Make it part of your culture versus part of your shtick, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can go start playing hardcore shows and festivals and expose a larger and different audience that wouldn't consider Juggalo music to be legitimate to the culture of the underground, of Juggalo, the scene, all of it. You have an opportunity to make people go, oh, that shit's not a joke.
Right.
And they also have the opportunity to show the Juggalo world, the underground hip hop scene, horrorcore scene, what another scene functions like and bring some of those sensibilities in.
100%.
Which could be awesome.
This is the thing that's really close to my heart specifically. And I think it's something that I have tried to do in my own way, is to take the things I learned from hardcore and bring them into the Juggalo world, whether that be participating by I like to think of a lot of the things I do as like a zine. Like DIFTUG to me is like a video zine or something like that.
Yeah.
This show is becoming that.
Totally. And I think doing things, I think that culture, and not to bite it or culture vulture it or anything like that. That's not my intention. But there's so many good things to take from that culture that I think we're almost there in the Juggalo scene, where it's like 25 degrees off or something like that,
But it's headed that direction, and a band like this could do huge things in helping both sides see the other side. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think the DIY sensibilities, not just of creating music, but of creating a scene and putting on shows, is one of the big things that I would love to see the Juggalo scene, the underground scene, start to adopt more. You can go anywhere in this country, to a taco shop, to a bookstore, to a VFW hall, and see a touring band from 6 states away playing with 3 or 4 locals in the hardcore scene. That's the way this scene should be as well.
Yeah.
And the spread is not there yet, the widespread nature of it across the whole country. But I do think the DIY-ness is already part of it. Whereas if you even look at things like Zool having their festival at an existing haunted house place is a cool version of that. Or even Klokwerk E going, okay, well, they did this a couple years ago, I think, when it was maybe in Texas or somewhere, where they were like, well, Juggalo weekend is so far away from where we are and where a lot of the people that care about this are. Why don't we do our own version of it, rent a place, do a thing? You know what I mean? And that is now a thing that happens every year.
Yeah. Big festivals are all well and good. They're a big part of the hardcore scene as well. But I also think even more important are the $5 basement shows.
Yeah. And I think
that's what I'd like to see.
Everyone having their own version of that, SON does his shows, the Sam Hain ceremonies and stuff like that. And he's doing some stuff, honestly, at pretty off the wall little spots, like the Crow's Nest in Youngstown, Ohio, or even the bowling alley they do stuff at Youngstown, Ohio is an interesting space for stuff. So all the ingredients are there. I just want to see the stove get turned up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
Yeah, I do think that this group, at the very least, causes you to have that conversation, right? To have those thoughts, to think about it. Listen, if you haven't heard them, if you haven't seen them, DeadBodyMan, all one word, no spaces. go listen. Their shit's on streaming. I think it's on Bandcamp too. It's a really interesting thing. It may not be for everybody. I think it's definitely the right thing for us.
It's for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wish for them nothing but good things. Guys, take it seriously, hone your craft, and just fucking keep running with it.
Also, I just want to drop in two little things. If you're not down now, then you never fucking were. It got me, because that's like such a straight edge thing that comes directly from hardcore. And I was like, wow, you're doing that, but you're talking about being a juggalo? That's wild.
I used to have a shirt that said that.
Yeah, exactly.
It said straight edge. If you're not now, then you never were.
Which is like, oh, okay, well, these guys are like, they know both worlds really well. And then another thing I loved was in Juggalo two-step, they, for like the kind of like mosh call breakdown part, do the breakdown that Shaggy does, like the spoken word from Terrible, which that song is also a great, thing that kind of brings those two sides together. The song Terrible by ICP, it's talking about, slave owners and stuff like that. Like, I was impressed with that.
Yeah.
That choice.
I'll be trying to mic grab at Juggalo Ohio.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I would be really curious. I mean, don't spin kick anybody, because they're not ready.
They're not ready. I'll get in a fight, but I will two-step during Juggalo two-step.
Yeah, I want to see, go for the mic, see what happens. I'm curious what the vibes are. If you bring some of that, because the band will get it, I assume.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see.
I think so.
We'll see. We've got a little bit of time left in the show. Let's get through some quick tour shows, festivals, and happenings in the underground. I'll run through a few here. Juggalo Weekend 2026 happened on the 27th and 28th of February. Anything important that we need to recap there?
It was lit. I think is all. Zool and Klokwerk were both there. SON came with. Super Famous were there. They didn't perform, but like SON went on stage with Klokwerk and did Catfish from Anubis. Ouija not headline, but played direct support second night. It just seemed like everyone had a good time. There's been a lot of content made. Like I watched a whole 15-minute live stream of Zool in their full garb in a pool in Miami, just having fun. Seemed like everyone had a blast. So yeah, it just seemed super lit.
Nice. Cool. All right. If everything plays out correctly and this episode drops when I think it will, we are about 10 days out from Juggalo Ohio 4, March 27th and 28th. We did finally get the day 1 and 2 lineups. The flyer is out there. You can take a look. Pretty stacked. This thing is good. And stop by and say hi. I'll be there day 1 on Friday.
Yeah.
So if you see me, say what up.
Yeah. And you're going to go connect with Darby. That'll be sick, because you guys just talked about wanting to meet in person and stuff. So yeah, I think that'll be a really fun show for you. I'm really, really jealous about that. It seems great.
Yeah, I'm like, listen, I'm right here. Why the fuck should I not go? So I requested off of work and bought tickets.
Totally.
Yeah. Astronomicon 9, we've got a little bit of an update here. That's April 10th and 12th in Ypsi. So there's been one concert announced so far. Per the MNE site, the Twisted Time Warp show will be on April 11th. My guess is that's going to be a hits show from the past.
Yeah, it seems like it's going to be a jumping around.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Yeah, they're going to do the Time Warp again.
Cool.
Again?
Here's a good one. ICP just announced a new run of tour dates. April 12th through the 23rd, they'll be in Davenport, Iowa, Omaha, Nebraska, Salt Lake City, Utah, Los Angeles, California, Tempe, Arizona, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Dallas, Texas, Aaron, and Houston, Texas.
I've got the Dallas date on my calendar.
Where are they playing?
Bomb Factory.
Oh, good venue. It's like a 3,000 or 4,000 cap. It's got a nice balcony. Good venue.
Yeah, I actually saw Post Malone there years ago.
Wow.
I saw, who did I see there? I saw Purity Ring there.
Oh, hell yeah.
Ooh, that would have been good.
Yeah.
Aaron, if my recent ICP in a place they're not at all the time show experience holds true, it will be extremely lit, and everyone will be so stoked to be seeing ICP for the first time.
Fuck yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah. So those are the big things that I know that are upcoming. Anything else, Robbie? Am I missing anything?
There is an event coming up that we might want to spend more time than we have talking about, but it is Hog Daddy Festival, I believe, at basically the Cave-in Rock, where they used to have the gathering. They're having a big, it's called Hog Rock, Hog Daddy's family reunion. Zool, like all of LLE is going to be there. ABK, I know, is announced. It's basically they're throwing a gathering at the old gathering place.
Is Hogog going to be there?
Not to my knowledge. Not to my
Oh,
awareness.
damn it.
But we should talk more about that next time. But it is shaping up to be very cool. I literally, while we're on here, someone was asking me if I could make it out, and I haven't yet said no. So,
all right. Interesting. Well, I think that's an episode.
I think it is. I haven't been to any shows or anything like that. Nothing else I want to talk about.
Not yet.
Yeah.
Not till that one that I see.
Yeah, I'll have one in a couple episodes to talk about.
I'll have one in a couple more episodes after that to talk about.
Hell yeah.
So, fuck yes, guys. Thank you so much for joining us for this great episode. We are wrapping on up. Not wrap as in RAP. We're not going to wrap the rest of this episode. We're just going to speak it like human beings. But on our next episode, we might wrap the whole thing. Who knows? Tune back in next time to see.
We won't, but tune in.
But hey, next episode, more delicious goodness from the underground. Can't wait for it.
Well, Aaron, before we get to that next episode, if people want to find us, where can they do that?
Oh, there's a website. It's actually, believe it or not, I just got the news before we started recording this episode, a Grammy award-winning website. They had a new category for website. So Grammy award-winning website, icpwwe.com. There you will find links to our socials, our Discord. You can email us there, podcast playlists, all of our playlists on Spotify, all that good stuff. And most importantly, our dear little Patreon. Eric, what is that?
Patreon is basically what it is it's a website that allows you to support us. For $3, you can become an over-the-shoulder boulder holder, help to hold our boulders. And that means your monthly donation helps us to continue producing this show and hosting this show and do all of the things that cost money to create it. And in return, we'll give you some amazing special bonuses. You get a channel in the Discord just for Patreon members. You get special content. Every time we drop an episode, you get a special Patreon drop. Only patrons can listen to it.
Oh,
yeah, I know. And you get a special shout out and thank you at the end of every episode. So I would like to thank Rob, Veronica, Siskel and Ebert. Give it 2 thumbs up your butt. Scotty, Robbie, definitely not just 3 raccoons in a trench coat. Andrew, Shmeev, the 10th, Child of Divorce, Spark Nuts, Adam, Stick It To You Baby, Dog Bastard, Dana, analbuttsex.com. That's what you should do for the sign off at the end of these episodes. Roro, Robbie Ragany of Hammer Down Protocol, ICPeen with Weed, B-Rob, Juggaloco Remix on YouTube, Sick Juggalo, Deucey Mac, Steve Wizard, Vovo, Lackey, Tom, and as last week, Pinch It Short and Wipe It Deep.
Hey gang, pinch it short, wipe it bit deep, analbuttsex.com. You know the drill.
Yeah, you
guys,
know the drill.
Keep it going with the t-shirt recommendations, by the way. I don't think anybody had a chance to get that in because that episode dropped today. Yeah. So nobody changed their name. So t-shirt recommendations, Pinch It Short and Wipe It Deep, analbuttsex.com.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Whoop.
It's ICP with who? With we, with you and me, and with Robbie. It's news and reviews with these 3 dudes. It's the ICP with we show. We show, 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 we show our dicks on Patreon. Legit. Check it out.
All right, here we go. And we've got a great show for you today. In this episode, we'll talk about boofing, juggalo hardcore, and once again, analbuttsex.com.
As always.
And as always, our sponsor, analbuttsex.com.
Damn, that's got to be a real site, but we should see what they can do financially for us.
We should.